Hello, guys. Welcome back to Books and Coffee. My name is Jeremy, and today we are going to be talking about Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Weskerman. This book is a collection of 10 short stories that are all set in Simon's perspective. This is a sequel companion novel to both the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series. So if you have not read both of those series, I would not read or watch this video until you have done so, because this video won't exactly have spoilers to the Infernal Devices, but characters such as Tessa Gray, who is the main protagonist of the Infernal Devices, does pop up in this book both by name, and she also has a few scenes in this novel as well. And she is one of our more long-lived characters that kind of comes and goes. We see her a little bit in the Mortal Instrument series as well. This book very much acts as a seventh Mortal Instruments book, just happens to be written in Simon's perspective. I mean, we do have other characters' narrative in this, such as Alec and Isabel and Clary and Jace and other characters, because um, Cassie's as usual POV switches, just like all of her books do, is also a part of this. But the main protagonist of this book is the wonderful Simon Lewis. If you have not read City of Heavenly Fire, I'm going to definitely ask you to go away and not watch this part, just because I can't really review this properly if you don't know the context of what happens at the previous book, because I just wouldn't be able to review it properly. But so at the end of City of Heavenly Fire, to be able to get out of the Hell Dimension and return back to, I think it's either Idris or New York. It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years since I've read City of Heavenly Fire, so my memory's a little fuzzy on all the details. But basically, there has to be a sacrifice for a portal to be opened in the Hell Dimension to let them out. And Simon sacrifices not only his life as a vampire, but all of his memories of everyone he has ever known and loved. He has no memory of any of them. He doesn't know who they are. They're basically complete strangers right off the street of New York, basically. Um, um, and so he gets like a small skeleton image of the characters or the people that we know, restored to him, and that happens at the end of City of Heavenly Fire. He has some memories of who these people are, but not really. It's more of like a vague image in his mind that he knows. He knows that he was friends with Clary. He knows that he and Isabel had a relationship. He knows that he pretty much fucked up that relationship, but he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know the type of person he was. He was human, then he was a vampire, and now he is on his way to becoming a shadow hunter. And to me, that is just incredible. Incredible that he has gone through so much struggle in the other six books that we've had from him, to see him become so strong and willing to be this, not only for himself, to see who he is, but also to discover the person that he was. So it's a very different version of Simon that we've ever seen, because it's Simon, but it's not. It's almost like a blank slated version. So as I always like to do in my reviews, is I'm going to read the back synopsis for you. Simon Lewis has been a human and a vampire, and now he is becoming a Shadowhunter. But the events of City of Heavenly Fire has stripped him of his memories, and Simon isn't sure who he is anymore. So when the Shadowhunter Academy reopens, Simon throws himself into this new world of demon hunting, determined to find himself again. Whoever this new Simon might be, join Simon on his journey to become a Shadowhunter and learn about the Academy's history. Along the way, through guest lectures such as Jace Herondale, Tessa Gray, Magnus Bane, these 10 moving and hilarious short stories with each and accompanying illustration gives a satisfying epilogue to the Mortal Instruments series, and provide tantalizing glimpses into the dark artifices. So for me, this book was amazing. I have no other words to explain. This book is 655 pages. I am holding my paperback edition because it's much, much lighter than the hardcover. The hardcover is very, very heavy to hold for long periods of time, and my reviews are normally around 10 to 15 minutes long, so this is much easier to hold up the whole time. First off, I also adore this cover. I'm going to kind of zoom in here. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. And the cover artist is done by Cliff Nelson, who is the same illustrator who has done the artwork for all of Cassie's covers, from the new paperbacks, all the hardcover covers, everything. And he's an artist. He's so amazing. So to me, there's a lot of elements in this book that I really appreciated. I love seeing Simon in this new way. I've always really loved Simon. I've loved him since City of Bones, and I've always wanted him to become a Shadowhunter. That's what I've always wanted for him. I didn't know if it was possible to become a Shadowhunter, but it is actually possible for humans to become Shadowhunters. The Clave will actually pick certain Shadowhunter or certain mundanes that show promise that they could become Shadowhunters. So either some people were born with the sight, but they're just not Shadowhunters. Those people can easily become Shadowhunters, but the rules of that are a little iffy. Apart from we get a lot of backstory on the Shadowhunter Academy, which is very, very fascinating. We get to see it's basically a dump. Okay, they live in the basement. The food is like dirt and it's nasty, and I'm surprised everyone isn't spending a lot of time throwing up. To be honest with you, I probably would be. I'd probably be throwing up, and I'd be on the toilet probably. Uh, After eating some of the food that they eat, it just sounds so gross to me. I don't even remember half of what they ate anymore. I would tell you and give like a example, but not really the best thing, I would say. Yeah, it's just not the best. It's no. One thing that I really love for us, this is definitely this very much feels like a Seventh Mortal Instruments book. It really, really does. And I think if you just finished the series, this is a wonderful place to start. Because for me, I wasn't ready to say goodbye to these characters. I just wasn't. And then I found out this entire book is set after the events of City of Heavenly Fire. This book takes place over a 2-year time period, with Simon being at the academy and slowly becoming a Shadowhunter. There's some backflashes to things that take place during the Last Hour series that's in this book. We get a lot of characters from there's so many wonderful characters. We find out a lot more about the Wild Hunt, which is something that the Fae is a part of. They basically had kidnapped Mark Blackthorn. Yeah, there we go. My mind kind of skipped over the last name for a second. We get to see him and he wants to go back home, but he just can't. He knows that if he tries to leave, that the Fae will come after him, and there will be a huge war between Fae and Shadowhunters, which I have a very big suspicion that is probably what possibly the Dark Artifices or the Wicked Power series is going to be. This is kind of feeling like a very long range thing, because the fairies are already had a part to play in Valentine's War as well as Sebastian's War, and it's just not a good thing. They're very traitorous creatures, and it's just they're just not nice people. They're very callous, and they don't give a rat's ass about mundanes or Shadowhunters. They pretty much hate them both, and so we get to kind of see that. We also get to hear a little bit more from Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorn and his family, and it makes me really excited to dive into the Dark Artifices and get to know these characters. I'm really interested to still wonder who was responsible for killing Emma Carstairs' parents, which happens at the prologue of City of Heavenly Fire. Those are kind of like it's mentioned in here that that they're still trying to find out or possibly find out who killed them, but it's not told in this book because that's something that we will find out in the Dark Artifices. Um, Another element is like the last like 150 pages, we get a lot of Alec and Magnus and Clary and Jason here. It is absolutely amazing. It is amazing because we get to see them adopt a blue werewolf child, which is wonderful and cute and adorable, and oh my gosh, it's awesome. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the Dark Artifices. I can't wait for more because that's the only way I'm gonna kind of get to see these characters again. I really didn't want to say goodbye to these characters, and I literally finished this book. And the last line of this book is "Let's go home," and I think that is just a beautiful. I feel like this was a much better way at saying goodbye to these characters than City of. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Than City of Heavenly Fire was. But this was amazing. I cannot wait to read not only the Dark Artifices series, but the Last Hour series, the Bane Chronicles, just everything. I'm really invested. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Sorry this was not posted earlier, but I had about 100 pages left when I woke up this morning, and well, I wasn't done with it, so I literally have been reading that last 100 pages almost all day long. So it was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know if you have read this book, what you thought of it, what was your favorite part. I loved pretty much the whole thing. By the way, I also wanted to mention, because this is something I always like to mention when I talk about her books, is that this was 655 pages. Like, I remember when this book first came out, I bought the hardcover, which is right there, and I went to the last page to see how long it was, and I was like, what? And it is that long. If you guys can see that. Maybe not. But, yeah, it's long. But, yeah, so good. Right now, I am currently reading Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. After 6 years. This book has been published out in the world for 6 years, and I'm just now reading it. I studied it all over because obviously engulfing in that book, I want to start it all over. So I just recently read the prologue about a little while ago, and I'm going to dive into it. I don't think I'm going to be able to review it by next week. There's just no way. I've been waiting for so long to read this one. I think I'm going to take this one low and slow. So this might take me a couple weeks to read it, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, because this one is even longer than this one. This one is like 668 pages. That's a really long book. So I promise if I don't have a book review next week, I will film something. I have a couple. I am going to do a TV show series review for the Donna Reed Show, which that one is probably going to be posted tomorrow. Because I've been planning to film that series review for years, and it's one of my favorite 60s TV shows. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you thought of the book. Were you satisfied with this as this is like the last goodbye to these characters? Now, I know that we are going to get, we will see some of these characters again in the Dark Artifices, and more than likely we'll hopefully see them again in the Wicked Powers series as well. But yeah, so let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.